Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today. Starting off on this 4-hour time frame, because right here we have a confirmed bullish divergence on the Bitcoin chart. And typically what that means is that either we are going to get some choppy sideways price action or potentially even a little bit of bullish momentum in the short term here. Although, just to be clear, we are in a very strong downtrend, obviously. So you definitely have to watch out for a potential invalidation of this pattern, which is if you see the Bitcoin price trading below this trend line right here, or if you see the RSI breaking below this trend line right here, because then the bullish divergence is no longer active. So even though typically this signal indicates that we get a break from all of the bearish price action, personally, I'm still a little bit more cautious in this market here, especially to long this move to the upside, because like I was saying earlier, the downtrend is just extremely strong right now. So just make sure you watch out with high leverage trading if you are not taking them as short-term trades. Now, zooming out to this 1 day time frame for Bitcoin, right now you can see that we are still in this descending channel, although we did get a scary wick to the downside right here, all the way down to this blue trend line that I was talking about in yesterday's video. And I thought this was actually a pretty unlikely scenario, that we would first get some choppy sideways price action around this level right here. However, we just wicked straight down to this trend line. So if we get some more price action around these lows, I might have to adjust this descending channel down a little bit to actually match this trend line right here. But for now, I'm going to wait a little bit. So let's take a look at this price action though, zooming in on this 4-hour time frame, because like I said, we're trading back inside the descending channel. Although the key price level to pay attention to for now is actually 56,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price, because breaking below there once again will look like a rejection on the higher time frames, where we trade below and then get a rejection down from this descending channel, which would be bearish. And then after that, the next price level to pay attention to would be about 53.6K. So this is actually a critical level to hold for Bitcoin right now. And zooming in on this 4-hour time frame, again, we are still in this downtrend and are now potentially getting rejected from this big level of resistance, sitting from 56K all the way up to 58,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. And in the case that we do see that rejection, then likely we are heading down to this next level of support, sitting from 53K all the way down to 50,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. So that would be some crazy bearish price action. Although I do think that so long as we hold this trend line right here, everything should still technically be fine, because yeah, on larger time frames, it will just look like a consolidation pattern. But breaking down below this descending channel, or potentially this blue descending line of support, would likely indicate much lower price action for Bitcoin here. And for now, my strategy for trading and profiting, even in this downtrend right here, is taking short-term leverage trades. And I take those leverage trades on MEXC, which is my preferred exchange, because you can trade with fees as low as 0.01% for spot and leverage trading. And besides that, you can get up to $1,000 in trading and depositing bonuses. Now, besides that, I also just partnered with an exchange named BingX, and you can find the link to BingX in the video description as well. Currently, they have a promotion going on where you can get $100 for free simply for registering. And this is only for the first 50 users. And I'm pretty sure about 10 people already signed up. So if you want to get that $100 voucher for free to trade with on BingX, then make sure to go claim it quickly, because I assume a lot of people are going to do that right after seeing this video. So to summarize for Bitcoin here on this daily time frame, obviously the momentum is extremely bearish, as I have been saying ever since we traded back inside this descending channel at about 70,000 US dollars. And even though we have a confirmed bullish divergence on this 4-hour time frame, I am not fully convinced that this is actually going to hold and that we are just going to pump out of here basically, because to me this just looks like an extremely strong downtrend with also a lot of bearish sentiment as well as bearish news out there. And that small bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame is not enough of a confirmation for me personally, at least, to be a strong reversal signal where it seems likely that we are going to do something like this. So I would say for now on the higher time frames, the Bitcoin momentum is more bearish, but on the lower time frames, that bullish divergence can potentially provide some choppy sideways price action or a little bit of bullish momentum, like I was saying earlier, so long as it doesn't get invalidated. Now taking a look at Ethereum on the 4-hour time frame, which has held the 0.5 Fibonacci level sitting at 2860. And for now, we actually bounced perfectly from that level. So in terms of Fibonacci resistance, it is the 0.618 Fibonacci level sitting at 3330. But again, I think that Ethereum is likely just going to follow Bitcoin's price action. So if you see Bitcoin getting some bearish momentum once again, then likely we are going to retest this level at the very least and potentially break through it. Although, of course, if Bitcoin is getting some bullish momentum, then Ethereum can just follow that and potentially reach up to this level right here. Although there are some shorter term support and resistance levels in between, which I will get to in just a second here. But that's just something to keep in mind. I think both Ethereum and Solana are basically just following Bitcoin's momentum. So now for the support and resistance levels on this 4-hour time frame, right now Ethereum is potentially bouncing from this big level of support, sitting from 3K all the way down to 2850, which also aligns with that 0.5 Fibonacci level that I was talking about earlier. And if we do break through that 3K level, then potentially we could be heading up to this next big level of resistance, sitting from 3250 all the way down to 3150. And now taking a look at Solana on this 4-hour time frame, where recently we got rejected from the 0.382 Fibonacci level, sitting at $152. And if you guys remember my recent video here, where I talked about this upward sloping trend line, saying that if we lose this as a level of support, likely we would be seeing a lot more bearish momentum. And of course, after that, we saw an 18% move to the downside for Solana. So hopefully you watched that video to get that warning signal. So we broke below the 0.236 Fibonacci level, sitting at $138, reaching all the way down to these lows right here at about $120. And then got a strong bounce out of there. So the key level of resistance to pay attention to is about $138, at least for these Fibonacci levels, and breaking below $116 with confirmed candle closes would be extremely bearish for Solana, because we would be making lower lows on the higher time frames here. And then taking a look at the support and resistance levels, right now we are bouncing from this big level of support, sitting from 134 all the way down to 125, and could potentially reach up to this big level of resistance, sitting from 140 all the way up to $150 for the price of Solana. Although again, just like I mentioned in the Ethereum section, I think that likely Solana is just going to follow Bitcoin's momentum. So if Bitcoin continues to get bullish momentum here, potentially playing out that bullish divergence that I was talking about earlier, then I think Solana is likely just heading up into this big level of resistance as well. Although if Bitcoin gets bearish momentum, then likely we are either going to test this as a level of support once again or fall through it. So that is again why it is important to pay attention to the technical analysis for Bitcoin as well. This was today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again. Don't forget to check out those links to MEXC and BingX, and I will see you again tomorrow in the next one.